Oh my gosh, if y'all could see me dancing in the studio, that feels good. So, happy to be here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Much appreciation to the fact that I get to grow up in a country where I get to be what I want to be and do what I want to do. So, happy 4th of July. First and foremost to everybody who is out there protecting us today, protecting the world today. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. A big shout out to my great uncles, my great aunts, and my grandfathers for all the sacrifices they made, as well as cousins of mine. And we appreciate that so much. So happy birthday, America. And,
amen. Amen.
And happy day to all of us. And this is what I tell people all the time. If you don't like this country and you publicly talk about it, then go find a new home. So
there's a way out.
Happy to be here with y'all. And by the way, there's a lot of irony to this, because your ability to go out in public and not disappear when you say, I don't like this country, I don't like the flag, I don't appreciate it. The freedom that you have to say that came from people who died and put their lives on the line so you could do it. So even in the moments where people want to hate the country publicly, understand that you are granted that right by people who don't even know you. So happy 4th of July. We can always be better as a country, but darn it, I am proud to live here. I am proud to be an American, and I am so grateful to just celebrate today and be happy that there's no fireworks going off currently, because they went off at 3:44 p.m., 3 o'clock this morning. I don't know, like, people need to work on their timing of fireworks, I guess, but we'll talk about that as we go. So happy to be here with you. MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', bringing you the topics of the day. We have Christy's Corner, our bi-monthly segment, every other Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time to start off the show, featuring International Hall of Famer in the boxing world, and in my opinion, a Hall of Famer beyond that, Christy Salters Martin. Also, boxing photographer Pat Orr, put her in the Hall, and myself, Dan Tortora. So happy to be here hanging out with you where sports meets life. We have a big announcement that the three of us have waited to bring to you, and why not bring it on a day where we're already in that celebration mode for the 4th of July. So if you're relaxing, watching us saying, why are you guys working? I'm off. Well, that's because we want to bring you something special today, and we were very impatient to do it. So Pat Orr, Christy Salters Martin, myself, about to give you a very special announcement and break that down and what it all means and discuss some successes and some fun. Christy just so happens to be down in my second home and one of my favorite places in beautiful, sunny Orlando, Florida. And so we get to talk with her about that, and maybe I get to live vicariously through her. If we were in the Matrix, I could come down there for like a minute, switch bodies with somebody, and then come back. So, and then in hour number 2 at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, we'll be joined by Danny Thome of the Wildcat Sports Pub, good friend of mine, and a fellow DMT. We have the same initials, so DMT squared will be coming to you in hour 2 as Danny and I celebrate Independence Day, his birthday, which is also today on the 4th of July, and we celebrate his Phillies, my Diamondbacks, and Major League Baseball in general. We'll round out the show with the ingredients to success, proudly presented by Avicolli's on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, down the road from Liverpool High School. So, with all of that being said, picture in picture with Christy Salters Martin, and on the phone with Miss Pat Orr. Ladies, happy Independence Day.
Right back at you.
I appreciate it, and I know I had an intro there of celebrating. Christy, why does Independence Day matter to you? Why do you celebrate?
You know what? First and foremost, just like you said, all the people that went out there and fought for us to have the right to be who we want to be, do what we want to do, say what we want to say in this country, And until you've traveled outside of this country to see how other people live, you just sometimes you don't appreciate because you don't appreciate what you don't know. Like you don't can't understand that other people don't have these same freedoms around the world that we have here. You just don't appreciate even the little things you have. Um, so I think we live in the greatest country in the world. And as Don King says, only in America, baby. Only in America can you go from being a coal miner's daughter to being on top of the world in the boxing Hall of Fame and living a great life that I've been blessed by God to have.
And I appreciate those words so very much, and you know, and I agree. We live in a beautiful place, and like I said, so many people feel like, well, I could say what I want to say. I can hate this country, and then use all of its freedoms. But remember where those freedoms came from, because freedom is from God. But over time, human beings took that away, and people had to take it back, and we wouldn't be who we are today, and we might be speaking another language if it wasn't for people that put their lives on the line. So I just find it ironic and kind of sad that, the people that openly say they hate this country also don't leave, and they stay, and
Mhm.
and they abuse all the freedoms that were given to them by a country that they don't like. So, and like you said, until you go out of this country and you see the rest of the world, I mean, Jamaica's fun for a vacation, right? But
Right.
there's a lot of poverty there, and there's a terrible way that people live, and I mean, the same thing can be said about Mexico. I mean, Italy's a beautiful country that has gone through, just over the years, just losing money. I mean, Venezuela going bankrupt. I mean, there's so many places that have gone through such heartache that people don't know about, or they know about it, but it's far away. So,
And those countries that what people don't often realize, um, the like the poor people are so poor. I mean, and I get it. We need to help other people, but we need to take care of our own right here in our country and make sure everybody's solid. And I think that's what we true Americans want to do. There's so many people that oh, we're forgetting about these people in some third world country, or we're forgetting about these people in some other continent. No, we let's take care of our people right here at home, and that's what our soldiers are fighting for.
yeah,
Us Americans.
yeah, and well, they say you can't go take care of somebody else's house if your house is broken, right? So, I mean, you can try and prepare or repair another person's roof, but if you don't repair your own at home, you still got a leak in the kitchen. So you got to take care of home base first. Pat, why do you
I'm
appreciate
on.
and celebrate the 4th of July?
Um, I celebrate the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Labor Day for the same reason. My brother was killed in Vietnam, so he did give the ultimate sacrifice for us to live here and live with our freedoms. And I think general people don't know what it's like to lose somebody in a war.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have, but there's so many people that haven't, and they don't know what the repercussions are for, after. I saw my mother change dramatically after my brother died, and was never really the same after that. And I think until you go through that, you don't know how important these holidays are. That our family members, friends, gave up their lives for. I'll never forget as a little kid seeing those military guys walk up our sidewalk, and I was only, I think, 8 years old, but I'll never forget it. Because life changes after that. It'll never be the same. And I think one of the problems in America is that the people that really think they're, the golden Americans are the ones causing the problems because of their hatred. They're full of hatred. I don't know how anybody could hate our country and still want to live here.
Yeah.
If I hated my country the way they did, I wouldn't want to live here, and I would go somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, and that's, and like I said, that's the beautiful irony, right? Of
Yeah.
I hate this country, I hate everything about it. I'm going to go on TikTok and talk about it, but then you still eat our food and
Mhm.
utilize all of our services and go to the malls and I mean, it's you could go to certain countries and guess what? You can't use TikTok in that country. You can't use Facebook in that country. They monitor the internet use in that country. Maybe you don't even have a computer in that country. So, it's just it's funny to me when when people want to bash like we've all said, you're going to bash where you live but you still live there. It's kind of like somebody saying, I hate my spouse. Oh, so are you guys getting divorced? Nah, I'm gonna stay with them. It's like it's
Right.
it's a
Right.
confusing
Right.
thing, but Pat, you talk about that story, and I appreciate you sharing it, and I'm sorry that your family went through that. I we were blessed in World War II that everybody came home, and it was a really amazing story. There was an article in the paper written about it, that my grandfather and three of his brothers that fought in World War II, they were all in different places. They all came home, but they all paid a price. My grandfather was 18 years old, front lines of Germany, and when he came home, there were certain things he couldn't do. He never talked about the war, and they said when Danny Boy used to come on, he walked out of the room because there was a guy in his foxhole. They used to sing Danny Boy to him, and he was killed. So,
Wow.
my grandfather couldn't hear that song. My great uncle Vincent was in Japan. My great uncle Bucky was in Germany, and my great uncle Pat's plane was it caught a bunch of flack or whatever it was. It caught from a fight that it was over. They had one of the engines, I think, caught a bunch of stuff in it, so they had to parachute out, and they were protected by a family in Luxembourg, and they heard Nazis coming to the door saying, if you're hiding Americans and we find them, we're going to kill you right in front of your family. And, saying that to the father. And if not for a family that was courageous in Luxembourg, my Uncle Pat's not here. And he just passed recently. And then my great uncle Bucky was in Auschwitz. He was captured. He was put in a concentration camp that many people know about. He came home and every day went down to the bar down the street, drank, barely ate, because whatever they fed him had ruined his stomach. So, it's like they all came home, but they all came home with something that they remember. Yeah, they came home understanding that, life is different, and there was a lot of sacrifices made. So, I just want people to know, because I'm not here to bash anybody. I don't live in that world. I'm here to kind of just share with everyone that this morning, as you wake up and you get to be who you want to be and go where you want to go and do what you want to do and say what you want to say and live how you want to live, that's all easy to not appreciate when you don't know anything else. But in a world that we live in today where we can always get better, and it's always going to be that way, every generation could say we could be better. But as we work to get better, let's remember something. This country has pulled off something no other place has. No other continent has pulled off the ability to come together and be one place. The other continents are split up into different countries. We are one unified country. We may not agree. We may be different. Food may be way better in the South when it comes to barbecue. but the reality of it all is, we figured out a way to do something that hasn't been done anywhere else. And if we can figure out how to play nice together on the same continent, my hope on this 4th of July and always is that we can learn how to spread love, not hate, and play nice together, even as we move forward into our next era as a country. But I am grateful that Christy, from the coal miner's daughter, like she said, got to go and become a boxer, live her life, set a precedent for many women out there. Pat, as a business owner, a female business owner, as a person who is, you went from the photography world to where you are today, to be who you are and how you are, to live the life that you want to live. That doesn't come without sacrifice, and it doesn't come without opportunity. For me to be a kid that started a company at 26 years old and is now going to turn 11 in my business this year, none of this stuff happens without opportunity and without a country that provides it. So the three of us are not here today to make the announcement that we're about to make. If if we didn't have the opportunity to be exactly who we want to be. And I appreciate that more than anything.
Yeah, you kind of have to have the gonads to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't try, you'll never know how much you work.
So we have,
and,
go ahead.
It's hard to try sometimes, but, it's risk. Take risk.
Yeah. And no risk, no reward. So, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of you both and everything that you've done. You've definitely been blessings in my life. So we have an announcement to make here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, inside of Christy's Corner. We bring you Christy's Corner every other week, but we decided we wanted to do more than that. So Christy Salters-Martin, Pat Orr, and myself are partnering. This is our special announcement for you around the world. We are partnering to bring more opportunity, more fun, and more excitement through getting Christy out to you in different ways. So we are here to say to the high schools, to say to the elementary schools, to say to the colleges, to say to the businesses, to say to the event centers that we have a story to tell, and we have an amazing person to do that. And Pat and Christy and I have bonded together to create a multi-purpose branding of chasing your dreams, overcoming adversity, public speaking, aiding others, and finding ways to make this world feel a little bit warmer, a little bit safer, and a little bit brighter. And Christy, I'm going to defer to you in what you're hoping to achieve in this partnership.
Well, I think with we're going to be a great team. We are an awesome team anyway. But now that we've actually all joined forces, and really just to concentrate on trying to get out there to the people that need us, that we can help, whether it's at domestic violence awareness events, jails, schools, any place that someone will let us come and talk to them about domestic violence and just to raise the awareness. There's so many people that have no idea that domestic violence isn't just about bruises. Yeah. It's mental, it's emotional, it's financial. There's so many different arms of domestic violence. Drug addiction, sexuality. I mean, we need to go out there and talk to the parents, because that's my thing. If we can just make parents understand that their kids are the same kid that they knew just the day before, there's nothing different, and there's nothing that the parents did wrong. This is just who their child is. That's, to me, more important, or as important as speaking with the individual that is now coming to terms and wants to express their sexuality. It's the people that are going to be around them, the parents, the grandparents, the brothers and sisters, the really people that you think are your great friends that are now questioning who you are. So I think there's so many different groups of people that need us to reach out to them. And I just want to get out there and change the world. I mean, we live in this great country. Let's be part of the change, and let's be part of the positive. And as I recently, I was telling Lisa, someone wasn't very nice. Well, you know what? Kindness is free. And let's just go out there and be kind to people and express how we want to help. And we don't just want to help, we can help.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like you said, we don't just want to do it, we can do it, and we should do it. And so this partnership and this opportunity for us to go out into the world and do some fun things together is something that I'm really excited about, because it can be anything. And that's the beauty of it is, partnering and finding ways to reach people in a loving and caring way. That, I mean, to me, you reach one life, and that's what I was always taught. You reach one person. You change one person's life for the better. You help one person sleep better at night. You help one person get off the ledge. You help one person believe that things are going to be okay, know that things are going to be okay. If you could do one good deed and leave one good mark in your life, then you've done something special. And I know that...
But Dan...
Go ahead, sorry.
Let me jump in, Dan. I hate to interrupt you, but this was exactly my thought from the hospital bed after being shot and stabbed. God left me here for a reason, and that's, if I can just help one person before I die, I will have done my job. And then as time passed, I'm like, no, that's not, helping one person isn't good enough for me. I want to help somebody every day. I want to help one person every day. And I think with us joining forces, I mean, we're a great team, all of us, and it's fun to make a ride with people that you like and that you love and that you want to be with. So we can change lives every day, and I'm excited. I am way excited about it.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this too, and I agree with you. You know, because you can hold a door, you can say hello, you can tell somebody that you're praying for them. You could see somebody struggling. You know, I saw a friend struggling on Facebook, post something. I sent him a text message. I was like, "Are you good? Do you need something?" I said, "You know, I love you, right?" So I mean, you're right. Every single day, you can do something that is loving, caring, supportive, kind, good, and you know you can change the world doing that. And I've seen that effect. I've seen that happen. Pat, what are you excited about as we step into this partnership here beyond what we're doing with Christy's Corner, and to really work to help others and find unique ways to get out into the community and spread a positive message? What are you excited about?
You know, I've seen Christy speak several times, and every time I'm amazed. It's not scripted. It's from the heart. She's talking real. And just to see the different people she spoke to, like kids, adults, boxers, it's enlightening because she has a gift. And unless the gift is shared, people are missing out. Like when Christy goes to cities for boxing, I'm hoping that she can go out and do 2 or 3 speaking engagements to couple up.
Nope, we lost Pat here for a second. We're going to bring Pat here. So she said that when Christy goes out and speaks, she would have the opportunity to, when she goes to different places, that she could have speaking engagements. Pat, we lost you for a second. What were you saying?
Yeah. I was just saying it would be nice to, you know, double and triple dip, you know, get out there so that people, you know, say, okay, wow, why didn't I go to Christy's fights? You know, why didn't I go to her promotions that she's putting on here, and maybe bring more people in to see the, you know, the joining of forces and stuff. Her shows are incredible. You know, she has the little kids on there. She's got professional fighters, and it just brings a wide variety of people to her shows. And I'm really looking forward to the country box in Myrtle Beach, because I think that's going to be really cool. And I think it's something that's going to be, you know, spread around the United States. And it's going to be, you know, it brings music and boxing together. I actually talked to Mike Powell here in Syracuse about it, and he said he'd be excited to join forces with it. So I think that would be cool to try to bring it to Syracuse or close by too, because there is a boxing community here, you know, in Central New York that it would draw to. But, you know, I always said in boxing, after shooting for the Hall of Fame since 1990, there's only so many boxing fans.
Yeah.
And it seems like all the time on the Boxing Hall of Fame weekend, there's a big fight somewhere else. So you have that percentage of people that aren't going to show up to the induction of the new classes and stuff. And I always thought that was sad, because when you have a Hall of Fame, you shouldn't draw away from it. You should draw to it. You know, it makes it more special and stuff. I think we just missed the boat on some of those things, but boxing's like that, and they're probably always going to be like that. They always think their show's going to be better than somebody else's, so let's go against each other. But as growing up and watching boxing all my life, I've always missed so many fights because you can't watch 2 or 3 things at once.
Yeah.
And why compete with yourself? There's lots of weekends, lots of days in the year.
Yeah.
You should be able to, you know, pick a day that isn't there, so that boxing fans have stuff every weekend to look at.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. I mean, if you do 50, you know, if you look at 52 big-time events, you got 52 weeks in the year, so 52 opportunities to do it. I mean, I think that's enough. You know, I mean, that's a lot. Instead of having to, you know, hey, watch this on Saturday, or, you know, be in Vegas for this. No, be in Dallas for that. Oh no, we're doing something up in Boston. You can't be biting off each other, and that's the thing that's tough. But like you said, I mean, there's what we're looking to do with this partnership is not to just reach boxing fans. It's to reach people. It's to reach people that have been affected by domestic violence and domestic abuse, by understanding, like Christy said, it's monetary, it's physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's social, you know, cutting you off from the people that you're connected to. There's always somebody that can hear a story about being in a good relationship, standing up for yourself, setting boundaries. Doesn't even have to be about domestic violence, but setting boundaries in relationships, to the boxing world, to chasing your dreams, to hearing no, to responding to adversity, to, you know, unplugging and getting away from social media and just going and listening to somebody talk about their lives. You know, there's so much good that can come from just time spent. And they say that, you know, the next to love, the greatest gift anybody can ever give you is their time, because they can't get it back. So I think it's important for us to spend our time wisely, and I'm excited to do it, and I'm excited to see it. I know Champ is chomping at the bit, literally, because he's sitting here going, hey, more events means more travel for me, means more people petting me and loving on me. So, and Champ's on the screen right now. So Champ is kind of like the silent partner in this, going, y'all do the work, and I'll just enjoy the reward of this work, is what Champ's thinking.
You're gonna reap the benefit.
Right. I think he had a great weekend. He actually got to go over, and our guy Tony Aguilar won a great fight over in St. Pete. And then from St. Pete, we came over to Orlando and hung out, and he met some more friends. So yeah, absolutely. Champ will benefit from the partnership.
And Christy, you had a very successful time down in Florida, and I'd love for you to share that, because we were talking about it off the air, but you had some really great things happen with, you know, your world and your promotions and everything you're doing. So I'd love to share that with everybody.
Yeah, so we did. We were, as I said, Tony Aguilar came out and he fought a great fight over in St. Pete on Friday night. Beat another undefeated fighter. With that win, he will now be the co-feature on the Zone on a Jake Paul promoted show August 18th here in Orlando. We're excited to come back, excited for him to have that great opportunity. And it's a good fight for him. It's sometimes when guys step up and get that TV chance, they're automatically way over their heads. So they're going to have to fight this incredible fight, the best fight of their life. And he doesn't have to do that. He just has to go be him and fight a solid fight. And it's an even fight. So I'm excited about the opportunity. With that, we also spent some time with the lady Mara Fox that's going to be writing the script for the movie. We spent some really great quality time with her here in Orlando. We also went over to Daytona Beach and had fun with that. While we're in St. Pete, we had a good meeting with the Triton Project and Connie and Janine, who did that, and they have some great ideas and really want to move forward with helping not just domestic violence survivors, but also like women that have been incarcerated from prostitution or maybe selling drugs, but they come out and they need to know that there's another way of life. And so that's two of the groups of people. There's not a group of people that this Titan Project doesn't want to help, but these are the two major groups that they're talking about at the forefront right now. So I'm excited to join forces with them as well.
Yeah, you know, and you talked about, you know, writing the script for this movie. I mean, your story, right, to be told. I mean, I'd love for you to get into that a little bit more.
Well, we're just, you know, we're at the stage of the writers are actually on strike. So she's here. We're not really. We're just talking. We're just meeting each other. We're not, you know, anywhere close to. She's actually writing. So she's just going around to see, you know, gathering information, trying to like put a visual on everything. You know, when you talk about she's from Australia, so when I talk about, well, we're on the Gulf Coast of Florida, no, this is on the East Coast. So, you know, she got a good glimpse of spatial, like spatial figure, right? Is that the word? Figuration. So where everything lies here in Florida. And then at some point we're going to travel up to West Virginia, and you know, I told her she can't do the movie without seeing West Virginia and really truly understanding who I am. You have to go there. So I'm way excited about it. But movies are much like boxing. There are fights that we want to see that never get made. There are fights that we want to see that take many years to be made.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this really happens. It's not a boxing story, and that's what I'm most happy about with them. They understand it's not a boxing story. It's a life story. It's a domestic violence. It's sexuality. There's so many drug addiction. There's so many things that this movie can talk about. And hopefully it's one of those that in 20 years people are showing their children, this is why you have to be a strong woman. This is why you can't let people take advantage of you. And it'll just be one of those that watch over and over and generation to generation.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. And the fact that you want to tell your story, you want to share your story. I mean, there's beauty in the fact of, you know, we know what we know. We know what we've been through. We understand, you know, our lives and our story. And when we can use our adversity and our positive moments and all the things that we've been through in between, when we can use that to help others, to assist, that's such a beautiful thing when you can bring it all together and you know your story, right? So when there's a script being written or there's conversations about it, you know what it is. And so, you know, you're not trying to figure out what the story is. You're trying to figure out how to capture it and how to tell it. And that's a beautiful thing. And, you know, from that to speaking to everything that, you know, we're looking to do, all of it is about telling a story. And, you know, from a kid who sat at a word processor that his dad let him use when he was 5 years old, that sits in my office to this day to remind me where I got started. I've always been a storyteller. So I love telling stories, and Christy, it's the person behind the story. It's the person behind the music, so to speak, that brings all of those notes together and makes those lyrics sing. So, you know, it's exciting to see everything that you're doing and your travel, and you're just excitement for life that's a beautiful part of it, because you want to help and because you enjoy it. So, you know, I think the possibilities are endless. The opportunities are in front of us, and I'm excited for it. Yeah. So, you know, before we get into rapid fire today, Pat, I wanna hand it off to you on why somebody should go out and see Christy speak. If we're doing an event somewhere down the road and we're promoting it and saying like, hey, we'd love to have you all out here, why sit there and see Christy specifically? Because I know you talked about the fact that it's unscripted, she's speaking from the heart, but I'd love to go a little bit deeper in why you feel like her message gets through to people.
You know, I think because it's real, Dan. When she talks, you know, people relate to her, and they take her words as truth. And I think you can see it when you look around the room when she is speaking, the people paying attention, the kids paying attention. After she speaks, how people gather around her, they want pictures, they want autographs. That means it affected them.
Yeah.
They wouldn't care if it didn't affect them. But when she tells her story, and there's so many people that can relate, that you don't even know that they relate because of the deep, dark secrets that they have. But they feel comfort in her sharing, and it's almost like she's saying, it's okay. You know, it's okay. You'll be all right. You know, it's just a really cool atmosphere.
Christy, for you,
Dan, I was going to say, it's a lot like I always would tell Don King, like I don't have a built-in fan base. I'm just your neighbor. Like I'm not an Ali. I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm not Mexican. I'm not anything. I'm just a plain old white girl from Southern West Virginia, coal miner's daughter. So I didn't have a built-in fan base. I was just that person. Like I would always say, you can knock on your neighbor's door and it can be me. And I think that that's why, because I do speak from the heart, that people relate from me. I'm definitely not professional. It's not all professional and clear and clean and all that stuff when I speak. But I think that people understand and know that it's real. And many times, number one, they're going to stay engaged and paying attention because you are just real. When you hear somebody up there speaking and it's just like rehearsed and it's the same old thing that you said, 50 other times in 50 other cities, the people lose focus. And so I think that I'm just real. I'm just who I am. There's no shine. It's just what it is.
Yeah, well,
and they're not the same. Every time she speaks, it's different. So she reads the room, she feels the room, she speaks to the room. And that's a pretty unique talent to be able to do that. And I think so many times when, you're growing up and you're in sports and, coaches from other teams come and speak to you, sometimes it's real, sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
And I listened to Pat Summit talk when I was like a sophomore or junior in high school. I was scared to death of her. It was like, she's an icon. It was like, holy crap. But we all listened to her. We all took something from it. Yeah. So, when it's scripted and, they got pieces of paper up there and they're reading from and they're barely making eye contact with you. When Christy speaks, she makes eye contact with you. Like, I think one of my favorite speeches was when she was inducted. It was short and sweet.
Yeah.
And it hit the spot, the same year you listen to Floyd Mayweather ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble. It was all about him. But with Christy, she brought attention to a different world. And she made a point, and it affected people. So I think that, that's the uniqueness.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because when you speak from your heart, something different happens. And it's funny because you talk about the piece of paper. Whenever I go anywhere and a speaker goes up to a podium, if I see them with a piece of paper and they look down at it, I automatically go, okay, I don't know if I'm going to be completely locked in. Because, and I remember, yeah, I mean, when I see that, when I see the paper and I see them walk out, as soon as I see them look at that paper or those notes, that's, I go to that, oh, okay, it's like that. And I mean, I remember being a keynote speaker for my alma mater, Marywood University, and I walked up and I had a sheet of paper because I don't speak from scripts. I had a sheet of paper up there and I had wrote bullet points like here are like the 7 things I want you to just mention. So just like words. And I put them up there because I'd never, been a keynote speaker before. And the funniest thing in the world is I don't remember what I wrote on that paper, but if you asked me today what my message was, I would tell you. And if you asked me how I felt about the kids, I would tell you. And to bring it back to Champ, guess who was at my keynote speech? Lily. So, but it's when you speak from the heart and Christy, hearing Pat say that you read the room, that you're talking and you're seeing people and you're adjusting to that on how people are responding on what they are doing. When you reach from your heart and it's not about the ancillary things. And when it's about just genuinely helping people, that comes through different. When people say, how do you reach people? How do you get through to people? Why do you leave an impression? It's because you're real. You're honest. You care. You're true. Christy, the reason why we've done anything together is because I believe in you. It's because when Pat introduced me to you and to Lisa, I thought, wow, I really want to be around these people. I like these people. I appreciate these people. They're genuine. They're real. I mean, I remember getting tears in my eyes when we sat at PB&J's and we talked about your story for the first time when we had sat down. I remember sitting there saying to myself, I don't care what it is, but I have to help her. And when you
No,
have
I
that,
appreciate that.
but it's real. And when you have that effect on
Yeah.
people, Christy, that's the beauty of it. When you don't lead with the bank account, you don't lead with the notoriety and
Mm.
the power, and I want red carpets, I want people to look at me, I want people to take pictures of me. When you lead with a heart of love and that heart of gold, I can knock on the door and it could be me. You know, a person passed away in my family. I would say in my family, my neighbor. My growing up, my grandmother's neighbor Willard. He was always there. He was always kind, and he did something that I said to his family when we honored his life a couple weeks ago. I said, if we can all in life be like that. Willard gave you his time. He was 100% focused on you when he was with you. He remembered things you said
Yep.
when he saw you again. And he was kind and he was loving. He made you feel seen. And
Right.
when you do that, Christy, when you make people feel seen, you make them feel heard, you make them feel noticed. I'm not going to be surprised at all when somebody comes up to you after you speaking somewhere and says, "Hey, do you have a minute?" And then you go off to the side and
Yep.
they say to you, this happened to me and I've never said this out loud to anybody, but today you made me, I just wanted to come up and I wanted to tell you thank you. I'm not going to be surprised at how many people pull you aside and tell you a story and say this happened or that happened. And if you can bring that out of them, if you can help them feel safe enough to talk about it, that's the difference maker. We're not selling a product. We're sharing a person and a heart and an energy and a soul and a vibe. And when you are leading with love and compassion, you can change the world. And Christy, you wouldn't have the effect on people that you have if you weren't real. And this world is in desperate need of honesty, realness, kindness, compassion, love, and somebody who's got your back. And that's why I cannot wait to get you out to as many people as we can to spread all of the things that we desperately need.
I appreciate that, and I look forward to it. And you're so right. It's almost every time that I speak, or I'm just someplace that recognized as a domestic violence survivor, somebody will pull me off to the side. Or this happens so many times for speaking events. Like, I do try to look around the room the whole time I'm talking, whether I'm actually making eye contact with a lot of different people or not. Maybe not, but I am like dancing, bam, 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 looking all around there. But almost every time there'll be that one person that I just keep going back to their eyes. I keep going back to their eyes, and I'll speak, and a couple, paragraphs, a few minutes later, back to that same person. That person I'm going to talk to before I leave that building, because somebody that's like that intent and that focused on me for as long as I'm talking, whether it's 1 minute or 1 hour, I want to talk to them. There's a reason, and I think it's important for me to go. Just one-on-one. Are you okay? That's it. That's it. That's all I have to say. Are you okay? And that gives them the opportunity to say no, or this happened to me. Just like you said, that's what we're here for. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm excited about this, and I'm looking forward to it. Special announcement today, once again, Christy Salters, Martin, Pat Orr, and myself joining together with Christy's Corner, of course, brought to you by PB&J's Lunchbox, and beyond that, looking to come to your town, your city, your venue, your place, and share a story, share some time, and help whoever we can. So wherever you are, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, understand that we might be coming to you. And if you want us to, let us know. Because Champ is a very expensive date, and Champ wants to be taken around the world. Champ wants to be pampered. And let's be real about this. We want to help people. We want to do everything we can. And what helps more than getting Champ to sleep at night? So, the more we can do, the more we can tire Champ out. So, I mean, that's
Absolutely. And Chan wants to say hello to his nanny that's on dialysis. My mother right now, she's sitting on dialysis, hopefully listening to us
Yes.
in Beckley, West Virginia. So love you and hope you're feeling well. I'll give you a call when I get to Austin.
Yeah. She reached out this morning, so much love to you, Joyce, and much appreciation. Let's play rapid fire before we jump out of here today. So Pat will ask me, I'll ask Christy. Christy will ask Pat, and then we'll go back around. So we're going to do that here. The first time we get to do it from an airport that I know almost as good as Syracuse International Airport, which is MCO down in Orlando. So, and the funny thing is, Christy gets to join a club today because the other person that's broadcasted from airports and tried to do his show when he's on the road, including in Orlando and wherever I am, you're looking at him. So, Christy, welcome to the party of being in an airport going, this is my studio, and y'all need to get out my business right now because I got to take care of some things. So, Pat, what is your first question for me?
Going back to your sports days
Yeah.
at Marywood, playing basketball, what was your warm-up song when you guys came out on the court, and why was it the one you guys chose?
Oh, my goodness. So there was I don't think I can go to Marywood and pick that because I don't think there was anything significant that would happen. But I know that when I played at St. Joe's in high school, and I played CYO ball out at St. Joe's, and we would go out there. It was like a vibe. It wasn't necessarily like a song, but it was a vibe because they made us look good. They got us these new like jerseys, flashy. We were green's my favorite color. We were green and white, and they gave us warm up like long sleeve to go over our jersey. And there was something about being in the layup line